Hey, welcome back to Creative Digressions. Your host, Akram Ahmad here. Hope you all had some fun last time around when we checked out what this recursion thing is all about. And if you did, I've got some fun in store for you. So I'm going to reach here for a book which gave me this sense of liberation, not in the sense of the book per se or its content, but really one of its authors in particular, John Vlissides, the late and amazing individual that he was, over at the Hawthorne Center of IBM, where he was a distinguished computer scientist. So John Vlissides, oh my goodness, this is interesting. I had not thought about the cover of this book in a while. See this print, MC Escher. And last time around, we had wondered if recursion was to be found in more than just a few places. But didn't I tell you it's everywhere? For example, here we looked at the prints in some detail that we can just crack them open. Yes, 16 frameable prints. What's in this treasure? Let's jump to this one. Oh my goodness. This is something I picked up at random. But if you see this small lizard or a crocodile, a mini crocodile, is clambering into an ink pot, leaving impressions on the blotting paper, and there is some kind of a beautiful virtuous cycle happening here. And I believe I was holding it upside down. It might help if I held it the right side up. There we go. Or maybe this way. All right. We got it right this time. Okay. Excellent. Whole recursion business can be a little disorienting. And one more. This one is called Ascending and Descending Lithograph from 1960. Rectangular inner courtyard is bounded by a building that is roofed in by a never-ending stairway. My goodness. Is that cool or what? So there's recursion for you in under 2 minutes. But if you want to check out the last episode where we had some fun, and you can do that. And the thing I was going to chat to you about a little is how it is that we stop tapping into our enormous potential for creativity. See, that's like 2 or 3 episodes back when I talked about approaching life, our lives like children again. You know, first of all, this whole business of being all grown up, I think is all overrated. Yes, we've got jobs to do. Fun things can also be part of that, our grown up lives, right? Who told us that we had to be all grown up and then forget about fun? So this I pulled up. So interestingly, it's called Sky Toucher, a look inside a really tall house. I believe this is by the author of XKCD, and forgetting the name, but the gentleman who has that marvelous column. But the skyscraper is really what it is, a sky toucher. So you can clearly see that when people have fun, things become far more relatable than they would. Because, I mean, who wants to read that boring, dusty, rusty textbook anyway, right? So you got to have some fun, inject some fun in there. And that's why I kind of reach out for things that can rejuvenate us. I just realized that I happen to completely bypass concluding the thought. So this is one of the things in our innumerable conversations, Edward Ashford Lee, right? I mentioned to you about his marvelous book published by the MIT Press. It was floating around right here, and I believe it is still here. Plato and the Nerd, published by the MIT Press. So he once said to me, Akrams, you seem to have, he politely said, a knack for leaving the punchline out. And I said, okay, Edward, okay, I got to get better at it. So it's okay. In the spirit of this openness to poke fun at myself, I'll be the first one, the guinea pig, to volunteer myself for poking fun at. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, all right. So the punchline there, right? It's going to say here, much earlier in this video, I was telling you about what it is that validated. I think that's the word I was looking for. Not liberated, but John Vlissides, an amazing individual. He is missed tremendously, not by me alone, but many, many others who saw in him a sterling individual, down-to-earth scientist, swimmingly brilliant. He was totally up for poking fun at himself, and he would not have it any other way. So there was this one symposium hosted by the ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery, way back, I think early 80s. And there was a panel on which he was going to be one of the judges. And he said, I'm going to wear this propeller hat, propeller cap, I think. And people said, no, don't do that. Doesn't look all that distinguished. And so he said, no, I'm not hearing anything of it. And he went ahead and he did that. So yeah, people like that seen much more often than not. I mean, people can be eccentric, but that's totally fine. He was not one of those eccentric people. It is very mainstream, or at least he helped it become more mainstream among other people to approach life like a child and childlike innocence, right? The Zen mind versus the beginner's mind. So if we give ourselves the permission to approach life like children again, while obviously, meeting our, shall we say, demands placed on us. And those are demands that are there for a very good reason. Otherwise, society would collapse and cease to function. It would cease to function if everybody was darting around like a 10-year-old. But you know what I'm getting at, right? So not to belabor the point, not to beat a dead horse, much more. But the idea of hanging on to our precious resource that is creativity is a huge thing. So yeah, that's John Vliside for you. This, of course, is a classic in the field. And I was gonna, before I picked up the Design Patterns book, The Beginning of Infinity. This is one book that figures quite prominently in Plato and the Nerd. And this is by a expert over at the University of Oxford, I believe it is, David Deutsch. He is, yes, memory served me right, professor of physics at the University of Oxford, where he is a member of the Center for Quantum Computation. So there he is. And notice how this spells center, like CENTRE, our cousins across the Atlantic. You would do it CENTER, center. They will do it centre. But yeah, the beginning of infinity, explanations that transform the world. And this is a good one. And I believe we are running out of our stack. Last but not the least, this is an interesting one. The mind is flat. Now, who would have thought of this? It's an intriguing book, definitely worth your while. And one of the reviewers said about this book, light the touch paper and stand well back. Evidently, what that reviewer found this book to be quite explosive in its ideas. And it's actually pretty interesting. Yeah. So it's got its fair amount of tape flags that I affixed to it. It's by, interesting, Yale University Press. Nick Chater, professor of behavioral science at the Warwick Business School and co-founder of Decision Technology. So it's all about a radical reinterpretation of how the mind works by an eminent behavioral scientist who reveals the illusion of mental depth. Interesting. So all this business of recursion is leading us into some very interesting places. Wouldn't you agree? So we're going to wrap it up for now. And if you liked what you saw here today, what I had to share, please drop a comment here and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.